All I used to do was eat carrots as a kid. Love them to freaking death. All because of Bugs Bunny. Yeah. What's up, dog? Plus, they're delicious. So, yeah. Um, I was talking to my eldest yesterday, I think it was, and I told him, I'm like, because he was talking about his bike riding and everything, and how he was still kind of sore and everything from, a little fall that he had, a little minor one. I'm like, dude, you gotta be careful. I'm like, remember, you have a pre-existing injury, so when you fall, you're like, it's not gonna affect you as bad because when your injury happened, you were really young, so you kind of like grew into it because your bones weren't like fully like developed when you actually had it. Like you literally just turned four a few months, prior. Now, to this day, I still don't know what the hell happened because he was in the van with his grandmother, his uncle, his little brother. They were going to go pick up her daughters from school, but something happened on the boulevard, and she has childproof locks on the van, but the van door opened and he fell out. But her son was the one that was running around the van. Um, I never understood that, and I never got any answers. All I know is that at the hospital, she gaslit me and tried to get me to believe that I didn't strap in my son when basically I strapped in my kids, both of them. Didn't touch hers because I don't touch anybody else's kid because I get an attitude every single time that I did something. So I would just leave her stuff alone. I never really put my hands on anything of hers. So I left that alone. Made sure that, my tube was fine and everything, and that she, was letting whatever he was doing, let him do. And, then she started talking to me how, he always runs around the van and everything else. So, my kids, when I went to go say goodbye, because this is the first time I got a ride on the way home instead of, walking to the bus when she was going down the same way. So, what happened is I got dropped off at the Old Sears Tower. In that little area on the boulevard where the Home Depot is and everything. And by the time I got home in the apartment, um, my ex husband, the kid's father, was on the phone. And next thing you know, I'm finding out that my son was in an accident. I'm like, what do you mean my son was in an accident? He was in the car with his grandma. So that's when I found out that he fell out of a childproof lock minivan and hit her van, rolled a few lanes, and went. It is horrible, okay. And he forgets about that, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot." I'm like, "Yeah, dude." I'm like, the thing is, you were lucky enough to go through that, to get through that. But the thing is, your body grew, okay, with that already happening, and you weren't fully developed with your bones and everything. They weren't fully hardened, so you were still. That's probably saved you a lot of extra stress. Unlike my ass, who has heart and bones and everything because I'm older, and ended up fucking up some shit while I was on my forklift at work when I was trying to reverse out and everything. And I'm like, so I'm like, my shit. I'm like, yeah, that shit got me a lot worse. Like I'm not like a lot worse, but like I wasn't able to develop with it. It actually had to heal from already developed frame. So I'm like, you know, he bounced back within like a year and a half. So, you know, I'm thankful for that. But that's what I was talking about earlier when I said, like, the universe will sit here and do certain things and put you through that type of trauma just in order for you to open your eyes to certain things, okay, that are around you. And you think about it like this. Things happen. And I'm like, also about 3 years ago, I think it's been 3 years now, I had a freaking dream that him and my cat was in a casket. I'm like, the only connection is my ex-husband and this dude. So I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I don't get that. I really don't. But yeah, it's just a lot of things that we really don't understand. And, you know, talking about that, it still throws me off because of the shit that happened. I'm like, how to, like, still to this day, I'm just like, how could you even sit here, leave them with a bunch of strangers to go pick up your daughters, and then try to gaslight somebody else of not doing something that basically is ingrained in them, you know, to do? I'm like, that would just be careless. I don't understand that. So, whatever. But, they're freaking biological. Oh, don't sue my mom, you know, all this other crap. When I was sitting here talking about that, when I was writing it on the thing, I wasn't talking, I was writing it on the screen instead of talking about it out loud on TikTok. So, that's when somebody came up in the comments talking about some, oh yeah, you can get some love spells. I'm like, who the fuck? Like, nobody's trying to do no damn love spell. I'm sitting here talking about some traumatic ass shit that happened in the past and some bullshit with the biological, you know, with their freaking father. You know, we call him biological because, you know, that fits. Just like I call mine the sperm donor. You know? I'm like, shit. I'm like, if the shoe fits, fucking wear it. That's how you are. Like, you don't do shit for the kids, and then you try to use them so you can go cheat on your freaking chick and everything else, and act like that you coming down here visiting the kids and doing all other types of shit, lying to courts and everything else, knowing damn well you don't do a fucking thing for the kids. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's his mother paying their freaking phone bill, because see, he got them phones. Like when I really wasn't agreeing with them having phones because I thought they were too young for them. So he got them phones, right? Stuck me and this one with the phone bills. So you'll purchase them the phones and give us the fucking bill to take care of. I'm like, how? That is some fucked up ass shit. So it took for what happened? Basically, his finances and everything, and plus me and him getting fed up. Like, why the fuck did he give the kids the phones? And then I realized, I'm like, he did that shit purposely. He did it purposely. He did it to try to get on my fucking nerves, trying to get on people's nerves. I'm like, so you can come off and be the good guy because now you're giving them toys and devices and everything that they want and need. Well, they don't need it, they just wanted it. That they want and that they would be so thrilled to have without having the responsibility to fucking pay for it your goddamn self. Then on top of that, he stole the fucking Xbox system with the Kinect, and then had his mom defend him about him not stealing it from the kids. I'm like, how are you going to sit here and say he didn't steal it from the kids when he stole it from the fucking kids? I'm like, that was both their system. The thing is, he said that Andre wanted it after he got Andre to move in with him. So I'm just like, you get my son to start disrespecting his fucking home, his household, and treating his mom any old type of way and everything with attitude and the air about him that acts just like you. And then doing the same thing to the guy I'm with, and I'm like, oh hell no! Like, look, I'm injured and I can't deal with this shit right now because you know I'm not my regular self right now. I'm in a fucked up situation. Like my back was fucked, and it's like, what the hell? I'm like, look, I can't do this no more. I'm like, if you're going to continue acting like this, you're going to stay with your father. Guess what? He started coming around just for money. Your grandma has money for you. Oh, okay. And oh yeah, can I come down here? And next thing you know, he'll pick up the money and he'll go. And so I'm just like, seriously, dude? But we had a talk and everything. He started seeing how he was and everything. He really wasn't realizing what he was doing. Um, but he's always a love bug, and I really do feel bad for what he went through in his little life and everything else. And plus, what he had to endure after he moved in with him, because number one, he was sleeping in the basement of a daycare, okay, with I don't even know how the situation was, but all I know is that it was horrible. Okay, he was crying, he didn't want to be in there. It's just bullshit after bullshit after bullshit. I'm wondering why is he sleeping in the basement of daycare? I thought that he was with your mom. Like what the fuck's going on? And it was yeah, well, they're sleeping on cots and all this other stuff. Like it was horrible. Like whenever the kids went over there, I knew that they were going to the daycare, but I really didn't know they were staying in the basement like that. And like when it was like, oh yeah, well, they didn't go down to the house this weekend, and I'm thinking, okay, well, they didn't go down to the house that weekend, so they just ended up staying, that one night, or maybe that 2 nights or whatever. If they went there on a Friday, then they stayed there, Friday night, Saturday night, and then they got picked up Sunday. So it really wasn't that big of a concern to me, because I figured, they're not really down there all day, all day. It can't be. But then I had to remember how I was living when with him. And then I realized, I'm like, okay, let me get in his ass and make sure these kids are actually in the house. But for you to allow this shit to happen, and when you actually know that shit was happening and going on when they were in your bloodline's care, that's some fucked up ass shit. I'm like, how the hell you do that? That's what I mean when I say most people ain't shit. What can you do, right? But I'm like, that was a lot of stuff. But I was pre-warned to get out of that situation. I should have known not to even go with that situation because I wasn't comfortable with it. But I was just like, okay, this dude keeps on, bothering the hell out of me. Let me just answer him and, talk to him, give him a little chance. Everybody deserves a chance. Da, 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 da. And then I realized the same thing that I realized when I said, oh, yeah, when people sit there and say, you should try anything once. Yeah, try anything that is of your interest at least once and see if you actually like it and are fond with it. Because if it's something that you enjoy, then you're going to enjoy it. Don't be peer pressured into doing some bullshit that you know you're not interested in or you don't want to deal with. Like me, I don't like being harassed and bugged. I really don't. If I feel as though somebody's trying to, form some sort of attachment or something, like, I'm like, yeah, I've been through this shit before, so I'm gonna disappear on you for a little bit. Cause you remind me of some negativity that I once knew when I didn't respect myself enough to say shoo fly shoo. Fuck you. Oh man. But yeah, see, I love to help people out, but I love to help people out a little bit too much, and I realize that. So I learned how to just disappear and shut the fuck up. Well, I'm gonna let you use me and try to get me out of my comfort zone because you're bored and need to harass somebody, right? People are funny though, but they all try it. Let them try. hmm. You know, I was actually really surprised when I went to pick up my niece from, I think she was in 4th grade at the time, and I seen my 1st grade teacher still working at that fucking school. And I'm like, how the fuck is she still working there? When I remember when I was in her classroom, she told me, like me and this other girl, oh yeah, I just want to kidnap you or some shit like this, right? So I'm like, it doesn't sound right. I told my mom, okay? My mom went to the school and she did her thing, okay? Teacher got pissed off at me and started fucking with me afterwards. Mind you, this is 1st grade. Started fucking with me afterwards. Started fucking with my schoolwork. Started saying that I wasn't doing homework, saying I wasn't turning in shit, and all this other crap, right? How the hell you still got a goddamn job at the school? I don't understand that shit. How the fuck they keep you on there when you're a fucked up ass individual? You got pissed off because a girl, little girl, it was a woman, okay? The teacher. You get pissed off because a little girl knew that what you said didn't sound right. Whether you were playing or not, that didn't even sound right. Me and my friends, okay, as teenagers, we would go to the movies after work, right? Our friends worked at the theater, so we got discounts. Plus, we were all students, so you know we were all, fuck that shit. So, we seen this couple, right? They had their little girl and everything, and she was like the most adorable little thing. I cannot remember what she looked like. I can't remember what she looked like now, but I remember me and my friends, we were playing the games and everything in the freaking lobby of the theater. And then she just looked at us over and just like, oh my god, she is so adorable. Like, you just make me want to have a kid. Like, like, oh my god, you're so cute. I want one of you. Like, that adorable. Not, oh, I want to take you and, no. Like, who the fuck says some shit like that? Like, oh my god, you are just so adorable. Like, when you see a little baby and you're like, oh my god, it's so cute. Look at you. Not some, oh yeah, you just made me want to kidnap you. Like, what the shit scares the fuck out of kids, man. Don't tell me no shit like that. I went home and told my mom. I'm like, the teacher said this. So I'm just like, bullshit. Okay, whatever. But yeah, when I seen her that she still had a job there, I was like, the fuck? How? Like, how the fuck? You know what? Fuck it. Not my business. Maybe she despises her job or something. That's her fucking karma. They just didn't give two shits and just left her there, Maybe she was trying to get fired and didn't. I don't know. Universe has a funny way of doing shit. They really do. But yeah. It's been a lot of stuff basically that I've been through here and there down my life. No, nothing really. Well, it's a lot of shit, but hey, you have to learn how to go through life being yourself, recognizing your own energy among, from the rest of everything else that's around you. You really do. I mean, yeah, this is something that I would sit here and do since I was younger. And it's a lot of things that